Let's bring in Qinduo for more on the Belt and Road Initiative. He's a senior fellow with the Pangoal Institution and host of CGTN's Dialogue Weekend. Good to see you. So we know because of the pandemic, we really haven't heard that much about Belt and Road. We just saw the story from Latin America, and we know that there have been some pandemic delays in other regions in the world. So what is the latest with the Belt and Road Initiative? Where do things stand?
Yes, Elaine, you're right. During this high point of a pandemic, many people even asked whether, Belt and Road Initiative will go south or simply disappear because of the supposedly reduced engagement, people-to-people engagement, because of the shutdown, even which continues even today. But if you look at the figures, for example, 2020, if you look at the investment from the Chinese side, the non-financial direct investment in BRI projects around the world has actually increased to almost 19% year on year. And if you look at the trade between China and the BRI countries, it increased by 0.7%. Well, it's not that impressive, but given the pandemic situation, it is probably more than expected. And if you look at the major projects, as I said, people-to-people engagement were disrupted. But if you look at these projects, basically, in particular, the major projects, as the Foreign Minister of China, Wang Yi, said, the key projects, none of them has been disrupted or suspended. For example, if you look at China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, Jakarta-Bandung high-speed railway, China Laos railway, etc., we're actually making very good progress already.
Well, you mentioned Foreign Minister Wang Yi. We know that he talked about this just the other day. So are you seeing this renewed push for Belt and Road during the two sessions? Any particular areas or countries of focus right now?
Yes, you are right. The renewed focus, actually, you can say is, from my point of view, is a bit adjustment because of the pandemic. And you can see the Chinese side will stress basically three areas, the so-called health Silk Road, and the digital health road, and green health road. We know it's easy to understand the health Silk Road. The concept itself is not new. Actually, health Silk Road was proposed several years ago, but because of the pandemic, this area has become the priority of cooperation. You can say, in particular, last year, China provided a tremendous amount of medical supplies and also the medical team to aid some of the countries along Belt and Road. And of course, Chinese President Xi Jinping promised to make the Chinese vaccines a global public good, and now it's becoming true. You can see Sinopharm and Sinovac, they are delivering millions of doses of vaccine to countries along Belt and Road, for example, Indonesia, Turkey, Europe, in Middle Eastern countries, and also Latin American countries, African countries. So that's coming true, obviously, and also countries are realizing that, medical cooperation, the joint research of vaccines are actually very important part of the infrastructure in terms of public health between China and BRI countries.
And just to clarify, you're talking about the health Silk Road and vaccines. Do you think that will grow bigger outside the pandemic once the pandemic's over? Not just vaccines, but other medical needs.
That's right. We talked about when the concept was proposed several years ago. It was not targeted at vaccine. It was not targeted or not prepared for something like the COVID-19 pandemic. It was more prepared at like building a platform. On that platform, you have the Chinese doctors and doctors from other BRI countries, basically working together to share their research. And if there is a particular difficult issues, they discuss with each other to see if there's a better solution from other countries, from Egypt or from Indonesia, and then they can share with each other to improve the health of the people for Belt and Road Initiative countries. So that's the initial idea. But because of the pandemic, somehow the vaccine research and also distribution, production is becoming more and more important for, we know, mostly developing countries along Belt and Road Initiative.
So looking ahead, what is the outlook for the post-pandemic economic recovery within this framework? And what do you think that will look like? And how long do you think that will take?
Well, I think this year we'll see the recovery, but it's not an even recovery. Probably, if you look at the economy, major economic recovery, China and the United States obviously is in, I would say, in the front row in terms of economic recovery, and because of this. Because of the vaccine, the delivery, the production bottlenecks, like in European continent, somehow European Union countries probably will be later if they want to see a recovery, and then developing countries, it's up to how quick they can roll out this vaccination program, and it's also about access to vaccines, either from, say, China, European countries, US, or Russia, etc. It's uneven, but I would say if you look at BRI, I'm seeing a green, actually, economic recovery. In particular, in BRI probably is one of the best, if not the best model for the post-pandemic economic recovery, because for a lot of developing countries, you do need a lot of investment to boost the economic growth, to create more jobs for the people. So that play into actually the expected role of Belt and Road Initiative over there.
All right, Qinduo Xu, thank you so much for joining us. Always great to see you and get your take. Thank you.